right behind me.
Wow. You hot over there, Lerna?
Mm. Yeah, but I don't want to put on the AC or the fan because it make noise
Yeah.
when I'm
I
talking.
have my AC on, but it's
All
quiet.
right, I'm
So
killing. I'm killing
Yeah.
you guys audio because I'm about to start.
Caribbean people, it's RadioBelizemix.com. Watch it. I wake up like this, you wake up like that. I wake up like this, you wake up like that. I wake up like this, you wake up like that. I wake up like this, you wake up like that. Watch it. Tell Queen Learner what's on your mind.
Good morning to each and every one of you. This is Radio Blaze Mix with you on a Saturday, 13th of July 2022. Welcome to our Wake Up Like This with the one and only Queen Lerner who is in the house. Good morning, Queen Lerner.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you feeling this morning, Queen Lerner?
Oh my goodness.
Wait.
I
My question should be how you wake up, Queen Lerner.
I wake up so and
So
so how you guys doing?
you got the microphone this morning. Go ahead and introduce your guest this morning because the picture is showing only me and you. Now, let's introduce the guest.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. On the hot seat today on a wake up like this, we have in the chair right here with us, we have our psychotherapist, our holistic practitioner, our CEO and founder of Globecom. And my goodness, her education is so huge, you guys. So today I want you guys to congratulate, appreciate. We want to thank this young lady right here with us. Her name is Alex DePaz. Welcome, Alex. Hey, how you doing? How
thank
you
you,
wake up?
thank you. I wake up like this.
Yes.
Thank you, Lerna. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you
Yes,
so much. Thank you, Will.
welcome. It's been a minute since you've been on a wake up like this. It was like 3.5 years ago, like we discussed. And I'm so glad to have you back here because you have so many topics that the audience and the world need to hear today. So we're going to cover quite a few. But before we get into that, we're just going to touch a little bit of where you from because most people may see you around like I did. About 3 years ago is the closest I got to know who Alex DePaz was is. Okay, so Alex, just give us a brief history as far as where you came from. You
Okay,
know? All right.
absolutely. So I am originally from San Ignacio in the Cayo district. Wave shout out to all my people in the West. What we say, the West is the best. All right. So
Wait. That's right. Okay, that's all right. I'm from Hattieville, so that's the West.
we'll still count you there. So yes, I grew up in Cayo, and then I moved to Belize City for a short time, and then I migrated to the United States. And I've my education, higher education, and advanced degrees have all been from America. So I've been away quite a while, more than I've lived in Belize. I never held a job in Belize ever. All my jobs been over here. So yes.
Right, and her expertise, you guys, we're gonna cover as quickly as we can quite a few topics. Her expertise is in the areas of forensic psychology, trauma, crisis intervention, domestic violence, addiction, mental illness, as far as PTSD, anxiety, and depression, and also sex addiction, you guys. So, my goodness, Alex, you were busy in school. You
I
were
sure
busy in
was.
school. All right. And so I'm going to lead into one of our main topics that we want to get in today. And that topic, you guys, we're going to discuss domestic violence. Just we can't go into the whole, thing about domestic violence, but can you just give us your expertise, suggestions as how to treat domestic violence?
Okay, domestic violence, as we know, is global. It happens in every culture since the dawn of time. As of since COVID,
Hold on, Alex. Before you continue, Alex, do anybody have a fan on by any chance? I'm hearing a little fry
a
in
little
my in. Yeah, is who having a
no,
fan?
I
Nope.
don't.
Nobody
I
having a
don't.
fan?
Downstairs, maybe?
No.
All the
All
way
right.
from
All right.
downstairs?
Go ahead, Alex. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
That's okay. That's okay. So we were talking about domestic violence, and it seems like domestic violence is extremely prevalent in Belize right now as we speak. And this has a lot to do with the lack of education and the lack of resources that people aren't aware exist. I worked over here. A lot of my clients have been both perpetrators and victims, so I've worked with both sides to
Mm-hmm.
understand. But it's such a complex topic, and it's very deep, and it could take a lot of time. I will do my best to try to share from my experience what how domestic violence affect not only the individual who are a part of the system of it, but also the kids. Because what we notice is that patterns repeat itself, right? Someone grows up in a domestic violent household, more than likely they will end up attracting, if it's the female, she will end up attracting a male and have the same pattern and uh, do not protect their kids, and it repeats itself. Third generation, sometimes multicultural generation, it exists. And awareness is important, education is important, getting the resources and getting the help that the individual needs. A lot of times, the most dangerous time when a woman is going through a domestic violence situation or a crisis is when they're about to leave. That's the most
Mm.
dangerous time. So it's really important to remember that.
Wow. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yes. And you guys, we that's domestic violence, and today we said we're going to talk about it, and we want to cover as much as possible. But before we go into the next topic, we want to warm up the audience because our folks they love to dance, Mr. DJ. Can you warm us up? It's a wake up like this. Let's boogie. Hey.
Y a través con este baile rico de Belice, con Barney Gil Harry. Este nuevo baile que les gusta a las mujeres es pasito fácil, nada duro de hacer. Toma su pareja, movimiento
music of Gilhari 7. Want to thank the folks on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook for tuning in to our Wake Up Like This on this beautiful Saturday morning. Queen Lerner, please.
Yes, we want to thank each and every one of you guys for participating and sharing and helping me promote this event for today, you guys. You guys know I bug you guys once a month. I want to thank our sponsor right here, though. I want to thank Little Belize Restaurant. Give it up, Little Belize Restaurant there in Inglewood. All right, you guys. I want to thank Proby's Tax and Accounting. You guys know she got it all. One-stop service. Just call Proby's. Also, if you want to ride in style, you guys, you know where to go. You better look it up. Call me. There is certain transportation. Ride in style. You know, there's so much stuff going on. And if you're traveling, you want to ride those ATVs to Costa Rica, they have that going on also. And the one and only, you guys know this man is doing it all. He's doing it good. He's doing it well. It's no other than my producer here, Radio Belizemix, and his wife, and Ty Jansen, who does the wonderful logos of mine. You guys, give it up for our sponsor for this program today. And also,
Yay.
I feel good. I didn't win the $1 billion, but we got a donation today from a lovely lady. We want to thank her so much today for that blessing. We want to thank Miss Brenda Morieta. I always say her last name wrong.
Yeah, Moreta. Brenda Moreta.
Moreta. We want to thank you so much for that wonderful donation you gave us this morning for a wake up like this. And you guys can donate to the cause. All right, you guys. So we're going to take it back to our guest here on the hot seat. She has so much to talk about. We want to get into another topic, guys. We got to get some of these topics very clearly. We're going to go into trauma, Alex. I know you have extensive degree into these specialties. So you say you work with Facebook clients or Facebook folks that's having some type of issue. Can you explain that to us as far as your work with Facebook workers or employees?
Sure. Yeah, trauma is another area that I focus a lot on, and I was hired by Facebook to work as a therapist to work with the content moderator. If you guys notice nowadays, you don't see a lot of really bad stuff on Facebook like you used to see before when people would report them in. So these content moderator would sit at their desk for 8 hours and they would be viewing these horrible content. And obviously, when you're exposed to that type of trauma, it's called vicarious trauma or secondary trauma, which when you're watching it, you take it on. So that in turn can lead to a lot of problems. It could lead to addiction. It could lead to PTSD because you're constantly triggered. So that's one area where they have gotten better. And a lot of other organizations who work in the field, who work with trauma, have to always have a therapist or someone who can help these individuals. It happens every day. Big corporations who get yelled at. The simplest of things can trigger trauma because people have been exposed to trauma since they were little. Different types of trauma, whether that's domestic violence, abuse, sexual abuse, any kind of trauma. Trauma is trauma, and it affects the mind. A lot of the guys that I worked with, not necessarily at Facebook, but from McNeil Island Prison in Washington, they were injured, head trauma, which in turn, if you do scans of their brain, you will see that their brain has shifted. In fact, 20% of people who had head trauma ended up committing sexual offenses. So that's what I noticed from the research and the work that I did. Trauma is extremely, almost everyone you can think of has had some type of trauma. Trauma is defined, it's a spectrum. And in my opinion, trauma is trauma. It doesn't matter the level of it. You're still affected and the body remembers. So sometimes someone could be somewhere and they just have a smell of a perfume or a cologne, and it'll trigger that memory. Yeah. So trauma is it's very intense, and it's especially hard for children who are exposed over and over because we all have that fight or flight response. So, and it's there to protect us when we're in danger, right? But imagine a child who's exposed to trauma, or an individual who's seeing it over and over. The police department, people who work in government, who are seeing this trauma over and over, they're constantly in that state of mind where their heart is palpitating. A lot is going on with them, and how are they supposed to take that and disperse it when they don't have an outlet for it? Most of the time, people who work in trauma end up bringing that trauma home. They just don't know how to name it. It comes out as abuse. It comes out as addiction. They start, with alcohol and drugs. So trauma it's a huge topic, and it's quite common. But being aware and having tools to work with the individuals, and having the process of therapy is really important to help them overcome it.
Right. And you guys, it's like we said, it's a broad topic and so much to learn. And that's why we have our specialist here today. And she will tell us another area of her services. And we're going to get into that very shortly. But I know she have another topic of hers that she really want to get in. So do you want to talk about one of your topics you have before I go into what I have here in crisis specialist?
Well, there are so many topics, but I think crisis intervention is one that comes in. That's really important, because I can help people briefly, give them some simple tools that they can use. We here living in LA, we see it all the time. Yesterday I saw a couple homeless guy about to get in a fight, or we see it wherever we go. But knowing what not to do can help not trigger an individual in that situation, or de-escalate them. So some simple tools we'll talk about if we get an opportunity as we go through these topics.
Okay. So right now, Alex, I know you were a director of the homeless, one of the homeless facility here in Los Angeles. And since homelessness is one of the biggest issue going on today, it's even worse than ever. Can you just give us some insight of your take on what's happening, what should be done? Do you think that they're moving very quickly with treatment for these individuals, or can you just give us a briefing of that? We can't really extend it too long, but can you give us your take?
Okay. So, I was a director. Actually, it was in Seattle, Washington for the YWCA. But currently, I work as a clinician with homeless individuals. And another thing, homelessness and mental health goes hand in hand. And a lot of times, we see people out there laying on the streets or cursing or fighting or whatever. And we don't quite understand the darkness and the trauma, or their history. They have a history. And a lot of times people are quick to judge, and they will say, I've heard people say this, oh, they look well, they need to go get a job. A lot of times these individuals cannot hold the job down because they're not on medication to help them just become stable at baseline. And a lot of times if the law enforcement or people on the street don't understand mental health issues, and they see a homeless, sometimes they trigger them even more. Understanding homelessness is huge to understand the co-occurring disorder that usually happen. It's usually they didn't just become homeless overnight. It's a lot of things that may have led to that. And I've met people who had PhD who are homeless, teachers, people with master's degree, but a divorce, something, and then it triggers the mental health issue. They have depression, anxiety, PTSD, and there's stigma around mental health. So immediately when you see a homeless person, or they can't maintain stable housing, we're quick to judge. But we need to remember that these individuals are someone's father, someone's wife, someone's son, someone's brother, and they are struggling with something that's very difficult.
Right, because at current right now, since the pandemic, we noticed that the amount of people on the streets has become so vast. And it's not just people with mental illness that's on the street. Mm-hmm. What is your take on that as far as is it the pandemic that causing this drastic change in homelessness? Because like we said, It's overwhelming.
Mhm.
So there's
It
so
is,
many more, and there's some very educated people on the street. So, what
it,
would
it,
you say to a family or someone that asks you that question? Why so many people on the street right now? What would be your answer?
again, it has to do with the lack of support. A lot of times, family becomes dysfunctional, and when they're in a situation of crisis, which would lead them to homelessness, they don't have that support network, and they feel alone. The resources are here. California has great resources, but again, homelessness is the worst in California. There's Skid Row. I don't know how many of you know of the famous Skid Row. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's a whole city in itself, and it's very dangerous for most individuals. I have some clients who live in that area and come from that area. So the pandemic definitely contributed to it. And I think that a lot of people don't realize how big the pandemic was, because even people who are professionals have suffered PTSD from the pandemic because
Mm-hmm.
their kids stopped going to school. They had to readjust, they had to work virtually. It's a whole different way of being, and how do we adapt when we've been so used to a certain way of being. But we were just talking about this, me and my colleagues at work, about how therapists as well have PTSD because everybody had to shift the way they think, their perception. So the pandemic definitely contributed to homelessness being on the rise, in addition to other things: alcoholism, drug addiction, domestic violence, all of those issues. You cannot separate them or isolate them from one another. They're definitely interconnected.
Okay. All right, you guys, how we doing out there? How we doing out there? I have a gift giveaway. We're gonna come back to our guest here, Miss Alex. They paused with so many topics to cover, you guys, but I have a giveaway. I got a giveaway, and I'm just gonna give one winner today. I'm gonna be nice. One person's gonna win $50 gift card, a gas card, and a Target card. All right, and you guys can start putting in the comments. All right, put your answer in the comments. Here is the question for the gift, you guys. Put in the comments. I want you guys to name the 3 pillars of health. All right? The 3 things to get you healthier, to keep you healthy. All right? You have to get 3 in a row. Write down the 3 things that should help with making you healthy. All right? That's easy, right? What you say, you guys? DJ, do we want to get a little music right now while they think about that answer? Come on, you guys. Hey.
song called Waka Waka on Radio Belize Mix. The program is called I Wake Up Like This. And we're having a good time with Alex the Paso, our guest. And of course, our host, Queen Lerner, inside the building. Queen Lerner, take it over.
Yes. Mr. Johnson, can you do me a quick favor and just shout out some of those people online for me? I love his voice, you guys.
Oh my goodness, we want to say good morning here to Arroyos, the folks in the JIC on YouTube, Jacinta and Tony Alvarez. Saying good morning here to Karen Jones, to Joan Bobbitt, Samuel Byrne, Philippa Lopez, and the whole rest of the crew. And then we got a lot of folks on Facebook. Alfonso Ball visiting Los Angeles from Belize. We got Miss Lourdes Byrne Partner saying you guys have been doing a good job. Elaine Smith-Proby has joined us on Facebook. Marcelina, we want to say good afternoon to you. Carla Bladen Kirkwood, Lau Gregoria, even Lerna Smith is peeping on herself on Facebook. How about that?
I was just gonna help you. We got Bootsy. Hi Bootsy. We got Bootsy online. We got so many people online. We thank you guys for tuning in. And so with that workout, you guys, because I'm sweating and we want to keep on sweating because it is good for what? Our health. It is good for health and fitness. And today, again, I told you she wears so many hats, you guys, so many hats. She's a health and fitness trainer, you guys. So she's going to tell you a little bit about nutrition and health and what she has to offer. Take it away, Alex.
Absolutely. I'm not going to give away the answer yet because after this, you'll probably see who won those gift cards. So health and nutrition. Pretty much, again, I have to take it back to my roots. Growing up as a kid, I watched my great-grandmother do a lot of healing, and I believe that I may have been inspired, and she is quite my hero. So I grew up watching a lot of health stuff. When I first came to the U.S., I worked for a Whole Foods Market as a nutritionist before they were even called Whole Foods Market. I don't know how many people are aware of that they were called something else before. But anyway, so I worked there as a nutritionist, and then I studied acupuncture and Chinese medicine in Washington State, which is all energetic work. I studied, I'm a certified aromatherapist. I do reflexology. I do health and nutrition. I do fitness training. And I studied martial arts when I was younger, way back when. So I've, throughout my life, there's been two parallel paths that I've taken. One is health and nutrition, and the other one is psychology. They merge together to me because it's mind, body, spirit, and it's about taking care of people. But before you can take care of people, you have to take care of yourself. So for me, I try to walk the talk and do what I can to be healthy.
Right. And that's going to take us to your company, your organization, which is, I want you to tell us a little bit about your services that you offer here, and tell us a little bit about GlobeCom. GlobeCom, I changed the name. Initially, it was Whole Therapy Counseling. During the pandemic, I changed the name to GlobeCom because for me, it's a sense of calming the globe. And then I add the holistic center piece to it, because it's mind, body, spirit. So I work a lot with people who are dealing with pain, lower back pain, muscle pain, knee pain, any kind of injury, acute and chronic. And acupuncture has been around for many, many years. And it has proven to be very effective with my patients. So I have really good results, and I love sharing that knowledge. I also do nutritional training for weight loss, for health, different body training, colonic training, kidney, different organ cleansing. I do a lot of detox of starting with the heart detox, herbs to clean your heart. We forget that our heart needs a lot of love as well. So our heart, our colon. If you have a healthy gut and a healthy liver, it's going to take you very long. It'll keep your immune system very high, and you'll be healthy. So definitely mind, body, spirit. I see them systemically. You cannot separate. Think about it. When you're upset about something, there's a crisis. Somebody pissed you off. What happened? Immediately you get a stomach ache you get a headache. So they're connected. And so in holistic medicine,
we don't see it like Western medicine where everything is separated. In holistic medicine, it's all connected. And so you work on the core, the symptom of the problem, and not just put a band-aid. I'm not saying that Western medicine, it does have its place for emergency situation and acute, but holistic medicine has been, again, since the dawn of time. White willow bark is what aspirin is made of, you know. So a lot of herbs back in the days are prescription that's been
Mm-hmm.
processed and changed. So we come full circle going back to our roots and where we come from and using alternative and natural remedies to heal a lot of stuff.
Right. And I noticed that you have quite a few professionals that's working alongside with you. So, folks, if you guys want to visit Globe Clam, just tell them why, because you have these professional doctors and stuff that also help you out in those different fields.
Yes,
So
and
tell them
we're
where they can
global.
find you.
We're global, www.globecom.org. So we work telehealth for counseling. I work with people in Belize doing counseling with them, doing fitness training with them. Now again, virtually you could do anything, right? So yeah, we reach out and currently, quickly, I just want to say I'm working with a guy in Belize, Mr. Lemus, and we're working with 300 kids who are living in somewhat poverty and they need help with education and books. So Globecom will be helping to open a library in this village for them. So we're doing a lot of great stuff for the kids that some people just don't know they even have these needs.
Right. And I noticed that a couple years ago you did made a visit to Belize, and you lend your expertise. Can you tell us a little bit about that visit? Because I noticed it was a room full of folks that was very interested in your type of work.
Yes. It was several years ago. I was invited by the director of Love FM to come and do some work in Belize. So I basically volunteered some time and I work with the Department of Youth Services. And I did a training on vicarious trauma, which I talked about a little bit earlier. So we had people from the police department, the BDF, social workers, teachers,
Mm.
counselors, and young kids in the Yabra area in Belize City. So I did a training on vicarious trauma so they can understand what they were feeling because a lot of the counselors said, oh, they didn't realize that's what they were doing when they went home and took it out on their family. So they were able to name it and they were very happy with the training. The kids were very happy. The only difference is that there's not enough counselors in Belize. So I'm willing to train those people if the opportunity ever comes around.
And I think I mean, that's several years ago, and Belize, like anywhere else, we need a lot of counselors because there's so much stuff that's going on with our kids today. They see so many things, they experience so many things. And to lead to that, I just wanted you to touch a little bit as far as the kids in the household and what you would actually advise the parents if there is a situation with predators or sexual offenders and different things like that. What is your first thing that you would advise a parent?
Mhm. Well, there is always signs, okay? So it's important for the parent to be aware of what's going on with their kid, to be able to communicate and to be able to tell them what's good touch versus bad touch. Like, have that conversation with your children because a lot of times predators will know and they will take advantage of these kids. Kids become withdrawn. They suffer depression and they're very scared to talk to an adult. So it's really important for in the family unit to have at least one trusted adult that they feel they can talk to and they can share that information with. I know victims who've gone their whole life not telling anyone until adulthood, but throughout their entire life, this trauma has followed them to where they repeat those cycles where they end up in situation that's detrimental to their mental health. So it's important for the parents to always listen. In my book, number one rule, when a kid comes to you and say that they're being abused, do not say they're lying. I'd rather be safe than sorry. Kids do sometimes will stretch the truth a little, but when a kid comes to an adult, always investigate it. Do not turn away. So many of the victims that I've worked with were devastated because their parents, the adults, did not believe them when they come to them and say
Exactly.
what was happening.
And this is a problem we have. They are scared to talk. You have to have an open relationship, build a relationship with your kids or loved ones. You guys, we have to know how to communicate. And so, let's talk about it. These subjects are hard to come up. We don't like to talk about these things. We don't like to talk about a whole lot of things, sex, drugs, and alcohol. We have to talk about all that stuff.
Yes.
So, guys, build a strong relationship with your kids and pay attention. That eyes of yours, you have to watch in their face, straight in their face. You can tell. I can tell if something is wrong with someone. Okay? So we have to pay attention. So I'm glad that we are touching. You guys know that we're just touching the surface of these topics, all right? So I'm going to move over because I know we want to get in as much as possible. And I want to just say once again, you guys know our sponsors. We thank you guys so much. And don't forget that Little Belize is open today until 6 p.m. And tomorrow, music on the sidewalk with the live band, A Piece of Paradise. So come on out, support, support, support. Every Friday we have karaoke, guys. Every Friday we have karaoke. And we also have... Mr. Johnson is playing for the September celebration, for the September dance. I don't remember what date that is. Do you remember the date on that dance, Mr.
That
Johnson?
is September 10th. We're having a dance on September 10th. We're going to be at the Prince Hall, and it's going to be good, that's for sure.
Yes. Red, white, and blue. I was going to say something else. You guys know what the red, white...
Never mind, Queen Lerna.
Bite your tongue, Lerna. Bite your tongue.
But yes, all right, September 10th. And you guys know next month, August, we're going to bring on Mr. Phil Smart and Mr. Farron Smith, who will be having the September celebration here in Los Angeles. So I hope you guys tune in for that. All right. So, Miss Alex, you have so much, girl. You got so much going on. But yes, we want to continue our topics for today because we have to talk about it. Do you have something, Alex, that you really want to put out there so that we can get that information? You have anything else that am I doing well with you, girl?
You're doing excellent.
Well? Yes,
you're doing excellent. And I agree that we're only skimming on the top of things because each of these topics can take an entire segment. There's so much to share, but we're skimming on them right now, and we're open to get questions if people want to ask on specific topic, or they could always contact me at my website, www.globecom.org, and we could continue. I know another area is pain management that we had talked about briefly. So a lot of times people, when people are experiencing pain in any part of the body, it's the body saying something is off, something is not right. And what I have noticed with some of my patients that have come to me is that they've ignored that pain for about 2 years to where it's debilitating. And pain can always impair your function. You stop going out, you isolate yourself, it causes depression, chronic pain. And so it's really important that when you're feeling pain to address it right away. It could be something very simple or it could be something a little bit more serious, but it's easy to ignore it. And you hear people have migraine. Acupuncture helps with migraine. A lot of natural stuff helps with migraine. Exercise, meditation, yoga, going on walks, getting outside, deep breathing. There's so much you can do, but it's about the individual being aware of what's going on in the body. When you can connect to your body and say, okay, it's time to pause, press that pause button. I need to check in with myself. This is not okay. Take care of yourself. Self-care is critical because nobody's going to do it for you, right?
That's it. You
Nobody's
have to
gonna
do it
for you.
yourself. And all they're going to say is, oh, poor Lorna, she, I didn't know something was wrong with her, So you have to take care of you.
Absolutely.
Depression, and that's another topic I wanted you to tell us a little bit about, anxiety and depression. Can we touch a little bit of that?
Sure.
Um, go
Sure. So, depression is quite common, and anxiety, especially after the pandemic. If you look at the research, it just skyrocketed. It skyrocketed
mm-hmm.
again because so many people had to be isolated. In fact, so many other things. Domestic violence was on the rise because everybody had to be locked in. So the true demons were coming out in those situations. You're locked in. You can't just
Right.
run away. So you start drinking more at home, you start getting depressed, you start, affecting and having power over situation before you could just run away. So you felt so constricted because you had to wear a mask, you couldn't go certain places, so you brought that to the home. Um, Depression in children was on the rise because the school system. So a lot of times, some signs of depression are either you overeat or you starve yourself. Excessive sleep, you sleep a lot, you withdraw, you isolate. The more you isolate, and it goes in patterns. Sometimes over a course of 2 weeks, you don't want to see anyone. You don't have good hygiene. You stop showering. You just in this state of
Uh-oh.
darkness, and
Mm-hmm.
people are telling you snap out of it. It's easier said than done because
Mm-hmm.
there's reasons for it. Sometimes there's a chemical imbalance if you're not on medication, to get to baseline, at least where you could get up and take a shower. Depression is very grueling. And the thing with mental illness, like depression and anxiety, it's not like having a broken foot. When somebody else break their feet, break a foot, you could see it because they have a cast.
Her cash
Depression
is swollen.
is insidious, it's hidden. So somebody could be smiling and they're hurting inside. In fact, we see a lot of that with suicide. Somebody would say, "Man, we just talked to him and he seemed so happy. We were having fun." And then you hear that they committed suicide. So these mental health issues are very serious, and
Mm-hmm.
there are resources. There are free places, free clinics where you could get the help. In Belize, there are resources too. And people can also reach out to me. I have some 800 numbers for Belize. I don't have them with me, but I could help them with that. But it is serious, and anxiety is the same thing. People get panic attack, and sometimes it feels like they're having a heart attack, but it's an anxiety attack because some of the symptoms mimic a heart attack. So
Okay.
it's really important to be aware of what's going on in your environment and be able to have the support. So the individual who's going through this, it's important that they have the family support or friend support because
Right.
a lot of times they won't come out of it because they feel like no one gets them. So we need to be empathetic. We need to care.
And one question before we go to some more music, because like I said, we have an audience that just love to dance. With anxiety and depression, I know there's medication for that. But what would you say to an individual that don't want to be on medication, but they are having severe um, depression?
Mhm.
What,
There,
because they feel like they're gonna think they're crazy. I mean, they're saying these things. Oh, I don't want to be on meds because they
right,
feel like, I don't want
yeah,
no psycho meds.
right,
I don't want this.
right,
But what do you say to an individual
yeah.
that have
There,
that frame
there's
of
a
mind?
yeah, there's a lot of people who don't want to be on psychotropic meds for lots of reasons. Again, one of them is because of the stigma. Because if somebody say, "Oh, you're in meds for depression or anxiety, something's wrong with you, you're crazy." So the stigma plays a big part in that. In alternative medicine, there's an herb called kava kava. There's an herb called St. John's wort. It's all natural, and they give similar effects in calming the nervous system and
Hmm.
relaxing the body. There's also something called rescue remedy, which is a homeopathic remedy. People take it who are anxious to get an airplane. You put a couple drops under your tongue and it calms
Okay,
you.
on your
They
tongue.
give it to their animals. So there are a lot of stuff at Sprouts and Whole Foods
Natural.
Market, natural remedies that helps alleviate the symptoms of anxiety and depression if you're against psychotropic medication.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. That is That is great. So right now we're going to go to some more music and we're going to come back with a couple more questions and the closures.
Sweet baby. Man, see what you want. Mr. Omi, let's go. Oh, I build a house today. Ha ha. Ready? Let's go. We want build one new house. We want build one new house. On the rocky road. Hey, on the rocky road. We want build one new house. What a one. On the rocky road. Hey, on the rocky road. The breeze can blow on down. No, the breeze can blow on down. On the rocky road. Right down Malante. Hey, the breeze can blow on down. Wash out one. War one. Watch out you one. We want build one new house. We want build one new house. On the rocky road. Hey, on the rocky road. We want build one new house. We want build one new house. On the rocky road. On the rocky road. Hey, on the beach side. With the view just right. Hey, on the beach side. Let's go, let's go, let's go. We want build a house today. Sweet baby. We want build with mansion. Sweet baby. We do it like this. Sweet baby, I'll be like house. Sweet baby, I'll be like house. We wait that cookie tree under the cashew tree. We are drink up cashew wine. We are dance and one and wine. We are sing and drink up wine. We are dance and one and wine. Sweet baby, I'll be like house. Ah, we are be like house. We wait that mango quick under the mango tree. We are drink up mango wine. We are dance and one and wine. We are dance and drink up wine. We are dance and one and wine. This is sweet wine, baby. Let me get ready to build this house now. We are building for all the sexy ladies. Listen. Sweet beer now build a house. Sweet beer now build a house. Break that kayo. Break that kayo. On the hilltop. With me girlfriend. With me Juby. With me sweetheart. Sweet beer now build a house. Sweet beer now build a house. Break that kayo. Break that kayo. On the hilltop. With me girlfriend. With me sweetheart. With me Juby. Hey, hey, hey. Sweet baby. Want build a house countrywide. Listen. Break that Rosa. Straight to Oridua. Right through to Belize City. Down Belma Pond. To bring that Cayo. Hey, straight to Brigada. PG. Right back to Ladyville. Yo, Hattieville. And I mean the jailhouse. To bring that Georgeville. Yo, Unitedville. Growing quick. To bring that Hope Creek. Mango Creek. To bring that Libertad. Oh yes, Cookie Tree.
The music of Sweet Pain, baby, on Radio Belizemix. I wake up like this at 11 minutes from top of the hour. This is a Wake Up Like This with Queen Lerna. Take it away, Queen Lerna.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Sweet pain, baby. All right. We got to get Sweet Pain up here on a Wake Up Like This so we can really rock and roll. All right. All right,
For
Mr.
sure.
J. All right. So, you guys, I hope you guys are with us. We are talking about it. We are talking about things, life troubles, life problems. And many of us come across these issues, okay? Some ways or the other, all right? One thing in medicine I want to ask you real quick, because I always have a problem with it. Do I throw it away? Do I keep it? You may have the answer, you may not. On medication, we have these medication that we buy over the counter, and they have an expiration date. If we look at the expiration date, you spend about $20 for this medication, but it's expired on you. What do you do with that medication? Is it still drinkable? Can you still take it, or do you have to trash it, or does it just lose its essence?
Actually, it depends how how long. Sometimes for some people, some patients, they will take it. The only thing is that it will lose its strength, so the potency will not be as strong. But some people after 3 to 6 months, they keep it. They keep it for a little bit, especially if you spend a lot of money.
Right. So the liquid forms, and then you have the pill form.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, so like say for instance, if he expired,
Um,
it's probably like saying it's best by this time. If it expired today, you don't have to necessarily throw it away. You
Well,
can take that
it's
medication
an
still.
individual choice. It's an individual choice. I know people and I know patients who've kept it, especially pill form, a little bit longer. Perhaps the liquid, they may toss that. And then when it comes to herbs and natural stuff, you can keep those a little bit longer. The only thing is that it does lose its potency um, after it expires.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
same with
Okay.
I Same with like food, like canned food. I used to help at a homeless shelter, and they would say, even though the expiration date would be up, they say canned food sometimes can go another 1 to 2 years. So they would keep
Right.
those.
I recently heard that because even that I have a issue. I had a problem with trying to figure out. Okay, it expired. Should we toss this? You know. And sometimes it's just kind of crazy because you toss in a lot of stuff if you go by the expiration date, you know? And even with the stuff them in the freezer, like, do you toss them or can you
Yeah.
keep them or still, but it all, like you said, it's your choice sometimes.
Well, another
But
thing is it's really important to do when you're purchasing them, make sure you look at the expiration date prior to buying them. So that would be, then you decide, oh, this is going to expire in a year. I can still get this. It will last me. So again, it's an individual choice.
all right, so I think, Alex, I'm gonna put it in your hands to get in anything that we didn't touch that you think we may need to know a little bit of. And because we covered some stuff in trauma, some stuff in forensic, some stuff under her crisis specialist like mental health and alcohol dependency, drug addiction. She also worked with gangs and gang prevention back in the days, I guess. I'm not sure she still work with gangs and she does her training nationally and internationally, And also, like I said, if you guys want to know anything else under her services under GlobeCom, there's a website, go globecom.org, correct?
Yes.
Globecom.org. And all the specialties is under there. She does counseling. And I was going to ask you the psychoeducational training. Um, what what sort of training is that per se?
So I
This site.
do, yeah. On the website, it has a whole bunch of them, but I do suicide training. I do crisis intervention training, vicarious trauma. I work with large corporations that I consult with them. So if you have a business and you have employees who struggle, I do training to help them deal with stress on the job so that you don't have a high turnover. A lot of companies lose a lot of money because they lose employees right and left because they don't have
Oh
that
yeah, that's
understanding.
happening. That's happening
So,
recently. They are,
yeah.
yes.
So
All
yeah, I
right.
do those type of training, communication to be for the employees to be able to know how to go to their supervisors so that they prevent a lot of things from happening. So I do a variety of training. I do training for counselors, aromatherapy training, health training. So yeah, it's all on the website. A lot of the trainings that I do. Um,
And you guys, like I said, she have her degree in all these areas that we are talking about today. So that give you a good reason to visit or give Alex De Paz a call and go to that website and all the information is there. So Alex,
yes.
is there anyone you want to thank real quick because we're getting closer
Yes,
to
yes,
that
yes.
time?
Yes, I just want to shout out thanks to all my Globecom members. We have an area on the website where people can become members. There's 3 levels of $5 a month, $10 a month, or $15 a month, and these funds help people in Belize, help the kids in Belize, help buy school supply, help people in domestic violence get on their feet. So if anybody is interested and want to be a member, please go to the website www.globecom.org and join, and you will get a free gift certificate to any of the services that we have for joining, and other benefits. I have a podcast on the website on depression, on COVID, on anxiety, on how depression and anxiety affect children. You have free access to all that resource on the website, plus on Facebook, Globecom Facebook page, where we have all the past lives that we've done. So people have access to all that information. And I just want to shout out to all my members. Thank you so much. We appreciate the help. Without you, we can't do the work that we do. I also want to shout out to my family in Texas, in England, in Belize, in Utah. If I miss anywhere, family's big. I'm sorry.
Everywhere in the world.
Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. Mr. Johnson, would you like to say anything to the world today?
No, I have. First of all, I want to congratulate Alex on being on a show. Well, thank you for being on a show. I've been watching all the comments, and everything is positive. The feedback we're getting from the audience saying the topics are very interesting. Of course, you would like to elaborate on a whole lot of each one of them, but you can't because it's just an hour show. But yeah, you gave them where they can get the additional information. That is very, very important and interesting. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm humbled to be here. Lerna, will you do the raffle now, or is that some other time?
They will. I'm gonna. They will put it in the comments, you guys. Then I go back. I go through all the comments from YouTube or Facebook and see what they wrote in there. And the question, once again, guys, was name the 3 things that can help with you with your health.
3 pillars of health, yeah.
All right, just 3 things. And all 3 have to be correct for you to be the winner of a $50 gift certificate. And you must live in California, you guys. I have to mail it. I got to put it in the mail. So in California, not internationally. All right, you guys. So name the 3 things. So right now I want to thank once again the Little Belize restaurant, the sisters over there, Ms. Verona Burks, Laverne Smith, Elaine Proby. Want to thank everyone that always with us, especially with the Unity Circle. And Alex is a member of the Unity Circle, you guys, and we are accepting more members. Anyone in the Belizean community that is doing something constructive with Belize and love their Belizean people, have a business, and is doing positive work and stuff like that. Join us in the circle. We're coming back stronger than ever. All right, you guys. So we thank Alex for being a member of the Unity Circle, and we're going to bring on more members from the Unity Circle to talk about their businesses and things that they're doing for the Belizean community here and abroad, you guys. So we thank you guys. We welcome you guys in. I want to thank my daughter Brianna Silani for always helping me with sharing and keeping that information out there. And she is the part of with her husband, the 13 Transportation, Executive Transportation. So everyone that support us, everyone that shares the information, everyone that's always on our Facebook and is giving us the boost to keep going. We thank you. This is our 7 years of bigging up and this platform of helping each other and pushing each other, and if we can just unify like this, all right, and keep this platform going, you guys, we can get bigger, better. All right. So if I miss anyone, I do thank you and we do appreciate you. And like I said, congratulations, Alex. Keep doing what you're doing, and it only get better from here. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, join us next month. We are expecting to have Mr. Phil Smart and Mr. Ferren Smith here on the hot seat on A Wake Up Like This. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to close out from here. Alex is here with us on
I'll wake up like this.
this.